Hello, and welcome to Scarlet Serpent Readings. Thank you so much for joining me for another pick a card reading, a timeless pick a card reading. This one's all about what makes you stand out. So I have 3 piles for you. We have pile 1 with the clear quartz. It's a cluster here. We have pile 2 with the kyanite. I do have a few crystals, but the collection isn't large enough for there to be too much variety in terms of just in case you're seeing the same stones over and over. But then I have for pile 3 here, we have, it's very hard to see, Mystic Merlinite, also known as Indigo Gabbro, right here. Trying to see if I can. It's kind of hard to get the detail on that one at night, but hopefully you're able to make a selection. If not, please pause the video now. Choose intuitively. The timestamps are going to be in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the clear quartz stone, this is going to be your reading. What makes you stand out? So I have a few cards already chosen for you intuitively. Of course, I shuffled and everything. So the first card is what stands out like in an immediate way, I was gonna say surface level, but yeah, really just the first thing that jumps out. And then I have another card which indicates something a little more subtle that would stand out over time, so people who see you on a regular basis. And then I have an oracle card on the side, and then I'll draw some additional tarot, I guess, for elaboration. Just keep in mind this is a collective reading, so if you want something a little more personal, I do offer personal readings in the description box below. So let's see what makes you stand out. We have the Hierophant. It's just an interesting Hierophant. It's like your connection to the spiritual realm, and I think because this is something that comes off as immediate, it's you have, I was gonna say structure, but it's like you ground spirituality. It's like people straight away know that you're a mystic, but I don't think this is because, it could be because of what you wear or how you present yourself, but this is more so of an immediate energy that, sorry, I'm just adjusting this real quick so you can see. It's, how do I say, like if people come to you and speak to you, like complete strangers come to you, I feel like that would be why, you know. There we go. In case you're wondering, it's like you channel spirit. The Hierophant here, the key is in your mouth, quite literally here with the so there's a throne. It almost seems like the Emperor, but with that throne it almost feels like an Aries, but it is Taurus. It is grounding spiritual wisdom, so you are a very wise person. Let's see what's beneath the surface. The Ace of Wands here. The passion isn't evident straight away, so I think because of your spiritual nature, people who don't know you could see you as just someone you're so calm and collected. Again, wise, but very put together well. I guess that's how you, yeah, Yeah, I'm gonna stay with that. Like, you feel every step that you take on the ground. Like, there's that sort of presence and awareness. And so over time, those who get to have the pleasure of being around you more often will realize that you actually have a lot of passion and fire as well. And that's kind of what, like, you're very passionate about the information that you receive from spirit, even if it's not like a deliberate channeling. That it's like your viewpoint and understanding of the world is something that fuels you, and that's kind of why people come to you, and that's kind of what drives you to give advice and work with spirit. And there's a desire to create and manifest and express yourself in that way. Let's see what the oracle has to say. The warrior, very interesting. I think that this kind of mirrors that what I had said about the fire, that over time people realize that actually you have a lot of passion. We'll notice that the key and the sword are facing down as well. This is a little harder to see, but the key is facing down and the sword is facing down as well here. If you could see that. So it's like, yeah, like a sun warrior, like a spiritual warrior, a peaceful warrior, where your truth is your sword. Yeah, that's your weapon. That's why people see you as powerful. That's what draws attention to you, is your honesty and your unwillingness to kind of turn a blind eye to injustice. And I'm just getting some more information here. Yeah, your willingness to fight and stand up and speak from a perspective that is, again, honest, good, not necessarily religious, but kind of with that authority of, this is clearly wrong and this is clearly right. Not judging people, but being firm in the way you see the world. I think that took some time to honestly get to that point of feeling confident in sharing your story, your perspective. But with that, that's where you got your power from. We have a few cards here. The 8 of Pentacles. This goes to show the hard work. I think that's that warrior ethic here. Willingness to go into battle, as I said, with the 5 of Swords. Aquarius, I think it was Venus. Willingness to fight for what you believe in. And this one is, the imagery is quite a bit different than traditional tarot, in that no one's walking away here. There's an acceptance of the conflict. So there's a lot of that sword imagery. We do have the Wheel of Fortune, which indicates not just luck, but kind of an understanding of the universe. That's really what I'm getting, especially when you compare the Hierophant to the Wheel of Fortune. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles, which, again, interesting that we have the Hierophant, the Knight of Pentacles. There's kind of that mirror of the camera focus is interesting, isn't it? Where you're willing to take the slow fight. There's a lot of groundedness to the way you walk, to the way you... This pentacle almost seems like the Wheel of Fortune. There's the dragon at the bottom. But yeah, there's strong movement. Really, that's what makes you stand out the most. Is the spiritual? You have a very strong spirit that moves you. That you come across as like a priest, but an urban priest, a modern priest, as someone who is real, noble, trustworthy, willing to fight, but doesn't, even with this knight, it doesn't rush into any battle. It's just, if the conflict presents itself to you, you're willing to and ready to fight. But otherwise, you won't just fight for the sake of fighting, in other words. Let's see if I can get any more cards here. Why? Let's see why do you stand out? Like, what's the purpose of you standing out? You have the Ace of Swords, so 2 aces here, the swords here. You stand out so that people can come to you, so that you could speak. There's a very strong indication of needing to voice your perspective and your opinion. And it's interesting that we have this balance between the yin and yang, the passion that you have, the drive, and the clarity with which you have to. And these elements go together quite nicely, air and fire. So lots of new energy, lots of very potent energy that you have, and people are drawn to it. It's almost like you're lucky and people get a sense of that luck. If they listen to what you have to say, they'll find that navigating through this world is quite easy. Again, that polarity here. It's like you are the balance. You are the grounded, like this says, the Hierophant. So hopefully this reading was insightful. I know it was fairly quick. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and share. Hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi Pile 2, if you chose the blue kyanite stone, this is going to be your reading. And we're going to get straight into it. I have 3 cards set out already. So 2 tarot cards. One represents how people see you immediately, like surface level, straight away, as soon as you enter a room. The second one is what makes you stand out. Over time, people notice about you as they are exposed to you more and more often. And then I have an additional oracle card that I'll be looking at before drawing some more tarot, just to elaborate on what we got. Just keep in mind this is a collective reading, so if you want something personal, I do personal readings. That information is going to be down in the description box. Okay, so let's look at that first card. Oh, okay. I'm just staring at it because I don't really know what I'm looking at here. Well, this is I'll just show it to you because I don't really know. Maybe there we go. First of all, I'm not too familiar with this deck, but secondly, I think that's what it is. I think that's what makes you stand out. It's not quite definable, your presence, your energy, and people are just like, I'm not really sure what to make of you, energetically or physically, or just kind of like that mix of both. Of kind of like, you just come across as different, unique, intriguing, and something that people would want to dig into. Definitely a lot of wisdom, sparkle, and it's like a creative, mystical element to you. And that's something that comes off, people could see and feel straight away as soon as they encounter your presence. Let's take a look at what makes you stand out over time. Okay, the moon. Yeah, that sense of depth is definitely there. It's like it just goes deeper and deeper, and that's why people are are intrigued. They're like, okay, well, something's different about this person, and then they get to know you, and then there's just like an endless ocean of not just information but energy that you have. This moon, this Pisces, does have that yin and yang element to it as well. There's the eye in both of them, so it's like the eye is changing, your perspective also changes, and that could be part of what makes it hard to put a hold on you. And I feel like you might be someone who doesn't enjoy being put into a particular box, category, a way of being. So if someone, for example, is like, oh, you always like this, that might get to you a little bit, because it doesn't allow you to change. Well, you can change, but their perspective of you, perception of you, is limiting in itself. These are almost continuation of each other. Almost. Okay. So let's look at this oracle card. Ask body. So the eye is showing up in every card. So that wisdom is there. You could be clairsentient, very connected to your body. It's hard to show this image, but it's like a panther. There's a star there. It says ask body. I'm gonna get another one because I don't. People might have a physical reaction to your presence. You could take that however you want, but and trust. Well, I guess you could take this as people trust you. You come across as someone who's constantly blossoming, though. I feel like that's more what's happening here, is that you're constantly unfolding, transforming, and that's what really makes you stand out, is your willingness to do so, your ability to do so effortlessly without, you know, how some people have to announce every time they're turning a new leaf or something. It's almost like a daily thing for you. We do have the strength card showing up. I'd say because the Pisces came up earlier, it's like you have an intimate relationship with your, maybe that's what the Ask Body card is as well. An intimate relationship with your subconscious self, your quote-unquote shadow. It's like you're friends with your shadow. I think that kind of weaving in and out of two different energies within you is what, I was going to say throws people off, but definitely makes you stand out. I do have the Justice card as well, so there's a lot of very powerful energy as well with you. Balanced, fair, so that's why that Trust card came out earlier. Trustworthy. So there's that, I was gonna say dichotomy of like you're mysterious and ethereal and with a being with a lot of depth, but at the same time you're honest, and it's a really interesting balance that you have there. We have the Queen of Wands and the Three of Cups. I'll show them to you. Okay, so and then so you are that Queen of Wands, definitely. I was gonna say. Easy to get along with, which is why people trust you. But it's like you could flip the switch as well. I would say you can get along with anybody with the Three of Pentacles. But at the same time, you'll say what needs to be said without trying to sugarcoat anything. It's like you'll be friendly, but not at the expense of your well-being. Like, you're not willing to sacrifice your integrity for other people. And I think that knowing who you are at that level comes from having experienced your shadow self, like coming to understand even the parts of you that at one point you might have found shameful, parts of you that you would want to hide. As you've come to terms with it and have become unwilling to compromise even that version of yourself, if that makes sense. With the Five of Swords, Five of Wands. It's fairly similar energy here of battling. And then we do have the same Panther here from the Queen of Wands as the Ask Body card. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have a Panther spirit totem, animal totem, spirit animal, familiar, because these are definitely mirrored. If you could see this Panther down there, and this Panther here. People might see your spirit guides, actually. Which is why, while you are alluring with this initial energy here, and friendly and outgoing, while you do have the capacity to be a decent, well, obviously a decent person, but yeah, someone who a lot of people will want to be drawn to, there's also this sort of barrier that your spirit guide creates. And maybe that's why the Ask Body card is here as well. It's like you tend to, or it's suggested that you, I think you probably already do this, you like check with your gut. It's like, is this person worth talking to, sharing a space with, because you've also come to terms with the fact that you only have a finite amount of energy at any given point. And that energy is best used for yourself, really. Like your passions, your goals. Because that energy is what draws people to you. It's your spirit. So I wouldn't be surprised if you had power struggles in previous relationships where people just try and make you feel powerless through their words, through their actions. And that could be also this trust, this butterfly. There was a point in your life where you were not trusting. So it's kind of like the flip. People trust you, but at one point you weren't trusting other people because you're constantly finding yourself in relationships that undermined you, that people try to make you feel small. And that's where this battle comes from as well. With the two tigers. You've come to terms with it with the Three of Cups, and you've at the very end, found your power, and you stand in your flame with confidence, and that's really what makes you stand out. Is there's a lot of power that you have, a lot of depth that you have, while still being kind enough to interact with everyone, but having the discernment and help with your spirit guide to kind of filter out people who who don't have the best of intentions. Okay, so hopefully this reading was helpful. It was entertaining at least, and I know it was short, but hopefully I get to see you in the next pick a card reading. Take care. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the indigo gabbro stone, also known as, I forgot, sorry, indigo gabbro or mystic merlinite, there we go. So I have 3 cards selected for you. The first card is on top. That's like the initial view, the initial, how people, what makes you stand out in a crowd immediately as soon as you enter a room. And then I have another tarot card which indicates how you stand out over time, like what makes you emerge among a sea of other friends potentially. So as people become exposed to you more often, they'll notice this other thing that makes you stand out. And then I do have an oracle card that I'll be looking at before pulling out a few more tarot cards to elaborate. So let's look at this first card. What makes you stand out initially? Okay. Yeah. So we have the King of Cups. I'll just show it to you. I'm just staring at it because it's pretty. Master of the Elements, but really emotionally intact. Very flowy person. Emotional intelligence is what comes up straight away. Otherworldly, you have like an otherworldly presence, and then over time we'll find that it's your energy is the 3 of Cups. So it's like your willingness to share your emotional wisdom with others. I mean, this is not the only thing, obviously, but over time people get a sense of how giving and kind you are. So while you come across as powerful initially, and you are, of course, I think it might catch people off guard just how kind you are to others, how much you give, and how much they are willing to give back in return. Let's look at the oracle card, and then we'll clarify these, of course. We have the Pillar, which is a card about creation, but I do get a sense of boundaries as well. It's like you open doorways to for people that they wouldn't have been able to find on their own. You have the 2 snakes, which shows creation as well, but it's like, opening doors. You might be a matchmaker, like bringing people together that complement each other, that work well together, that can create something new, like finding like-minded people. Oops. These cards are falling all over the place. Okay. What makes pile 3 stand out? It's interesting that in the 3 of Cups, we actually have 4 dragons. That's interesting. There's like 2 ethereal dragons and then 2 elemental dragons. It's okay. It's bringing out people's passions, and it's almost like, especially over time. Oh, okay. This is a little fast for me. Hold on. Yeah. So it's like people know at an intuitive level that you have the ability to bring out people's passions. It's like you are one who places an importance on love, on doing things that you love. And I think as people meet you, they realize that you're different in that you take value in those things, and like as opposed to success in a traditional sense, you also try and encourage people to follow their passions, and it's like the passions spill out of them over time. So it's like initially you're just someone who's very filled with joy, and people wonder why is this person so happy all the time regardless. And you have that balance of, well, I set time to do what I really enjoy doing, and then as people get to know you over time, it's like their passions come out of them because of your presence, because they have within them the water element, but it's been locked up because they've been told, look, wow, this is incredible. Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck, just as I actually accidentally flipped the pile over, but this is what came out. Sometimes I don't like working. Here we go. Ace of Cups, definitely confirmation about that you bring out that joy, that new passion from people. So it's like you are the Ace of Cups incarnate. We do have here the Three of Swords, which shows probably the energy of the people who are drawn to you. Not initially, by the way. This is for those of you who get to, or for those who get to see the Three of Cups version of you, the one that's underneath that they see over time, is that they are these people. These are the people that are drawn to you, who've gone through heartbreak, and it's like you kind of show them, it's probably not like on the nose. It's like subtle over time. You slowly nudge people towards pursuing a passion, and then when they really connect to themselves and their passion, they move on, really. That's what makes you the King of Cups, is that not only are you emotionally intelligent like the Queen of Cups would be, but the King is like kind of takes ownership of a whole landscape. And so when people come to that King, gender is not relevant. It's just like that's the card. I don't know. Where they'll go to the King, and then the King will help them be the best version of themselves, and they could do that by being in a loving energy as often as possible. Let's look at these cards. The Chariot, again, pursuing that joy and making it important. It's interesting as well because the horses remind me of Poseidon, King of Cups, Poseidon, so a lot of that energy, a lot of very masterful sense of emotional well-being. And then we also see, this camera is not my friend today. Yeah, with the Three of Swords, that there is water, and it's like that ocean is covered in blood. However, it's like you have the ability to transmute that energy, or help people transmute it for themselves. And it's interesting as well because we kind of have that imagery with the Three of Cups. You'll see the pink there at the bottom. So it's kind of like, well, from the pain, I'm not very good at this. That red cup can be seen as pain, that blue cup could be seen as joy, and when you mix them together, it's an entirely new experience. And that's what this Ace of Cups is all about. The new, that comes through experiencing pain. So I feel like you come across as, I was going to say like a therapist, but like a counselor in a way, but also just someone that has that compassion and understanding and really very strong emotional wisdom. We have the Star. This is very on the nose, actually. The Star, the same thing going on. It's the dreams that are being made manifest in the real world. And again, with the same imagery, with the water flowing, very, very, very water-based, very emotionally intelligent. You are an alchemist. People know that, so they go to you to help teach others to alchemize their life. But that's something that makes you stand out straight away, is that you've done it for yourself. You didn't just alchemize yourself. You didn't just transform in that way. But you've, as I said, you're like master. You have a mastery of emotional intelligence. It's just at a completely different level than most people. And then we have the Page of Wands, which does have that same feeling of pursuing something new. Let me just clarify this Page of Wands. Ace of Pentacles. It just seems as though these people often think that they can't make a living from their passions, and it's like you're there to show them that that isn't true, and you're an example of that. Right? Even if it's not like your full-time career, that you're at least pursuing something that you could have just been seen as a hobby, and you're taking it. And I think that's something that stands out to your friends specifically, because most of this has to do with friends. Otherwise, you'd just be seen, like, as you enter a room, someone majestic, very good-looking, flowy. Like, there's that kind of suave feeling to you, where you're just here, and then there's not a lot of friction in the way you move and in your energy. But as they get to know you more, we'll see that you step the way that you do because you've learned from your pain and learned about the importance of joy and feeding your own soul, feeding your own cup with what gives you pleasure, and not being afraid of that and not undermining it. Let's get another oracle. It's like, why do you stand out? Like, what's the purpose of standing out to others? Why do you... Whoop. Death. Yeah, it always happens where I hold something back and then it comes back later. It's like, I should have probably said it, but here we go. With the Ace of Cups. So we'll see that there's the fish surrounding the cup. These are dead fish. So it's like, through that experience of pain and rebirth and letting things go, that's how people are able to find their hobbies. It's like letting go of structure, really, letting go of what is perceived as safe and important, and you kind of show them a new way. And I feel like that's why that's the purpose behind being drawn to you, seeing you, noticing you in the first place, is kind of flipping the switch on what it means to be powerful. It's a new way of perceiving power in that you have so much joy in being alive that all of the other measures of success aren't relevant. And it's like all of these cups pour over. Can you see? Oh, there we go. It's like being passed along, that love, that enjoyment, that realization of pursuing your hobbies and the things that you enjoy, and that's just like, oh, I need to tell other people, and those people tell other people, and so forth. So there's a lot of love that you have. So anyway, hopefully this reading was helpful and it was fairly short. Please like, subscribe, share if you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.